Hey y'all, Andrew Reed. It's that time again. Time for another strain video. Today, I want to go over a fairly new strain. I mean, it's actually really new. It's been on the website for a little bit, but I think only 3 people have gotten it so far because we just kind of uploaded it on the slide and didn't tell anybody. That strain is, of course, Pearly White. Pearly White is what we call this one. It is a beautiful strain. Very crisp, very white. Exactly what you're looking for in a pearl type oyster. Now, the parentage on this one is very interesting. It is a cross between, so it's alphanumeric in our company here is Mopez 2. That stands for MOP crossed with Elm Z. So that's mother of pearl crossed with Elm Z. And this cross yielded 4 or 5 interesting phenotypes that we're going through. This is the first one that was been properly tested and weighed and grown through a couple of different growing conditions. But this is also a strain. Remember, mother of pearl is BS5. That was a Lambert's 123 crossed with a snow oyster, North Shore snow oyster. So technically, this strain should have parentage from Elm Z, the snow oyster, and Lambert's 123. It is a big producer. It is actually one of the largest producing strains I have seen, in that its first flush yield is crazy big. Way over 2.5 pounds for the most part. You'll see one of the video, the freaking allergies. One of the first ones that we picked that we weighed today was well over 3 pounds. So, of course, you'll get to see that in the B-roll as we're playing here. But this oyster has big white stems. In fact, I've got another video coming up, like in a week or two, another strain series one for our copperhead oyster. I'll just kind of show you some B-roll of it just real quick to let you know that I'm beginning to realize I have a type. I definitely have a type. I didn't think that I had a type, but I've got a type when it comes to breeding. Every breeder has a type. Sounds worse than I mean it, but you know what I mean? Like a flower breeder tends to breed, and you actually have unknown biases that you are breeding towards, and sometimes you have good clear-cut ways you're going, and then sometimes if you're just breeding for what the ones that are the most attractive to you, the best yielding, that kind of stuff, like we still have our data, but then we've got the ones that are just attractive to us, right? And I'm beginning to realize I really like short, stocky strains with fat stems. I really like the fat stems. Probably comes from the heyday with King Blue, but I mean, Elm Z, one of the reasons why I used it for parentage in the first place was because it had big, soft stems, meaning that chef can use more of the mushroom because you don't have the hard stems. And of course, with our copperhead, we have very little stems at all. Now, going back to the Pearly White, we actually have more stemage than what we would be used to. But the stems are completely made up of usable material, down to the block. So, I mean, down up to the block, but not including the block. This strain is a heavy yielder. The texture is phenomenal in that it reminds me of King Blue. So if you like the texture on King Blue, this oyster is much easier to grow. It is actually a bigger producer, and its flavor is still very mild, which I want in a pearl oyster. I rarely want a pearl oyster that has a really strong flavor, because pearl oysters are made to take up whatever you're cooking in. So we have a mild tasting, an incredibly well-textured... Oh, hold on a second. Okay, as I was saying, we have an incredibly mild-tasting, very well-textured, high-yielding, and easy-to-grow pearl oyster. So this strain is going to be pretty, I don't think I'm quite 10 minutes in the video, but it's going to be pretty kick-ass. I'm very excited about this strain in that, it's more ideal for me than what most pearl oysters I see. And Pearl oysters do tend to have good texture, which I really appreciate. But this one with the stem texture all the way down, being very nice, soft, not stringy or anything like that, it's an excellent mushroom. So now temperatures and incubation. All right, so as far as temperature is concerned, we have grown this mushroom in the cold, and it did great. And we have grown this mushroom in warmer weather, and it has also performed very well. So we have a pearl oyster that is performing very well in wide temperature ranges. I don't have exact, but I will say that my grow rooms were growing down close to freezing sometimes this winter at the coldest points. This mushroom kept chugging along. It did slow down, but it kept chugging along. It didn't die or anything like that. And in the heat in the summertime, only when we reached into the 90s did this thing stop producing. So, around 85, it'll probably still produce. It shows an immense amount of heat stress at 85. Ideally, you would want to keep this thing below 75. So if you want a temperature range, I would say anywhere from 55 to 75 are very appropriate temperatures for this mushroom. That said, 75 is what you should be keeping your rooms down below anyways, because you get contamination spikes and anything higher. Now, this strain is also a fast runner in that I've got a picture I'll show you guys. The handwriting isn't all that great. Believe me, it's a 48. I confirmed with the person who wrote it that it's a 48. These bags were planted on day 48. That means spawn put to... and this is what I want to start doing going forward on all strain videos. So spawn to substrate, days to harvest, right? Just like you see on vegetable seeds. So going forward, this will be in every single strain video that we're producing. I'm going to give you a time to harvest. Now, right now in spring temperatures, we are looking at what that means with a lot of cold snaps, like a lot of cold nights where there's not a lot of growth. Today is day 83. Julian date, and we planted this on Julian date 48. So that's a time to harvest of 35 days. That's not even 6 weeks, right? A lot of times I tell people to count on harvesting. You've got, man, I can hear my kids slightly, so they're yelling like they always do. So 35 days to harvest. That is from the time you plant your spawn, then you shelve, and you go on at very cool temps. That's actually a very good spawn run. So this thing is fast and easy, good producing. I actually don't have any cons on this strain, which actually worries me a little bit. I'm sure some of you can find it, but I don't have very many people that have had experience with the strain. Like I said, 3 people, I think, total have bought it from us. So I would highly recommend getting this strain. If you do have any experience with it, please put those in the comments down below. I'll put the link for the strain down as well. And for anybody who has any suggestions on strains they want to see next, we will definitely get Cheryl planting those into grain, and then we'll get those into the grow room as quick as we can so that you guys can see what you're wanting in specific. Again, Pearly White being the parent of 3 different strains, being a parent of an actual original cross of mine. This is making me happy because we're getting into multi-generational selective breedings. And this is where I think we're going to start seeing real improvements in strains, not just kind of cool, nifty stuff, but like as we can actually go forward and select things that we want and breed into that. It's going to be an excellent time, guys. Sorry for the voice being all scratchy and stuff. My allergies have been killing me. I've been coughing like crazy. So it has scratched my throat up. But anyways, y'all, with that, keep spawning culture.